Brahma Chalani making his first appearance on the News Hour tonight. I'm so delighted to see you on the debate this evening. Is one of India's best known strategic affairs analysts and writers, and Maruf Raza is India's foremost strategic affairs expert. Both of them will add perspective on this story tonight. Seshadri Chari on the political perspective heads the foreign affairs cell of the BJP and is a member of its national executive. Dr. Mehboob Beg represents the perspective of the UPA government. He is a member of parliament of the National Conference. Junaid Mattu is a columnist and political analyst. He also represents the J&K People's Conference. And Kumar Ketkar is a chief editor of the Daily Divya Marathi of the Bhaskar Group, who says, I'm in favor of the government policy, be it on China or Pakistan. So he represents, I'm not saying this to show tilt, but he represents a view which is sympathetic to the government on this subject.
Actually, whichever government, may be the government, this should be the line.
But as of now, this government.
As of now, this government. But even when Vajpayee was there, I supported the same line.
Yeah. Okay. So the question here is, let's put this question first to Brahma Chalani. Dr. Chalani, you know, the army chief says it's the Pakistani army. The lieutenant general on the ground says it's the Pakistani army which has done this. But we haven't really seen anything at all which is a strong statement taking on Pakistan for the official hand of the Pakistani army. Why so?
It's a good question. First, why did it take the army chief 15 long days to link Pakistan with the incursion? In fact, this particular incursion began on September 24th, as you know. But to save Dr. Singh's meeting with Prime Minister Sharif in New York, the government suppressed the news on this incursion. And the first news on this incursion came only after the Singh-Sharif meeting in New York. It's apparent that India's Pakistan policy is adrift. It has lost all sense of direction. It is so adrift that it's emboldened the Pakistan army to stage repeated aggression. We have had the decapitation of 2 soldiers in January, then later we saw the slaughter of 5 Indian soldiers, and in recent months we have seen a series of attacks. We had an attack on the Indian consulate in Jalalabad. Public memory in India is so short that we have forgotten about that attack on Jalalabad consulate, which killed about a dozen Afghans, mostly children. And then more recently we've had some other attacks, the Samba raid, and now the latest surprise, this incursion. So given these series of attacks, the question that arises is twofold. One, about India's Pakistan policy. And the second question is about the army leadership. Why is the Indian army repeatedly being caught unawares? Why is the Indian army not able to inflict deterrent punishment on the Pakistan army? Why is the Pakistan army able to catch Indian army repeatedly by surprise by carrying out cross-border raids into Indian territory?
Well, I think the second question is relevant, but I'd go with the first question because it raises a whole can of worms. And I'll put this question to the person who is part of the UPA, that this is a very serious charge, Mehboob Beg. The army, the Indian army, is engaged in a battle with Pakistan-backed terrorists, the Pakistani army-backed infiltrators since September 24th. Nawaz Sharif meets Manmohan Singh on September 29th in New York. So this government has to come clean. Do you think your Prime Minister did not know about what was going on in Kairan? Or are you of the view that irrespective of the Pakistani army involvement in what is going on in Kairan, Dr. Manmohan Singh should be meeting the Prime Minister of a neighboring country who's allowing his army to carry out this kind of infiltration attempt in Kairan?
Arnab, just hang on for a minute. Question is, you said you are Prime Minister. He is our Prime Minister, number one. We have an elected government in place. We have Defense Ministry. We have External Affairs Ministry.
Yeah, but has your... one second. First of all, you're going on semantics.
No, Arnab,
you're going on semantics.
Please,
one minute. Just a clarification there. You see, I said your Prime Minister. I can equally say, no, 1 minute. If you were to say your Prime Minister to me, I would not take offense. He's your Prime Minister, my Prime Minister, and hence there's nothing factually incorrect in my describing him as your Prime Minister as well. Because his being my Prime Minister does not take away his being your Prime Minister either. So I think we should not go on semantics. Go on the fact.
Arnab, you started by saying you are Prime Minister. Therefore, I wanted to make it a little clear. One,
Sir, come to the point, sir.
Please, we have to have. Please, if you allow me, I will come to the point. The point is, you have to believe the elected government in place. Don't tell me that they neither have the intent. There are 2 points here. The intent and the definite plan, policy in place. I think they have both. You can neither suspect or doubt their intentions or plans and policy. What did he talk about even there? If you are against the talks, even there, he talked about the same thing.
Did the Prime Minister not know about this gun battle along the LOC? 5 days this goes on. Let's get in Seshadri Chari. 5 days this goes on. Would military or intelligence not have told him that they have enough information about the Pakistani army? The information General Bikram Singh gave me today, I am pretty sure, Seshadri Chari, this information was with the Prime Minister of India on the 29th when he met Nawaz Sharif in a hotel room in New York.
Certainly, Arnav, in your own channel and in many other channels, the army chief very categorically said that this particular action started much before 23rd September. 23rd September is not the cutoff date that the army is talking about. There were more than 40 to 50 people that is being reported. We don't
Precisely,
know.
yes.
There were only 40 to 50.
Yes.
There could be 400 or 500 also.
Yes.
But even if we believe the army chief as saying that September 23rd was the day when they noticed this action and started taking counter action against. We can't believe that this army chief would not have told the Prime Minister, or we cannot believe that the Prime Minister did not know it.
So was there an attempt to downplay the whole thing? Then it's a very
the Prime Minister.
That means there was an attempt to downplay the whole thing and keep it away from public glare.
He should talk or not.
No, 1 second. Seshadri Chari, let's put the facts on the table. Let's put the facts on the table. When is the army chief speaking? After the media has gone big on the story for the last 1 week. When the media has put the story in public focus, when it is in the front pages, when it is being discussed on television shows, when our reporters are on the spot, when we are putting the pressure and asking the army, and hence also asking the government,
Exactly.
Kumar Ketkar, what on earth is going on in Kairan, then you are coming out with this kind of a wishy-washy
later on the show.
No, there are 2 points.
Even today, Kumar Ketkar, there is not a statement from the government. Even today, there is no statement from the government.
We do not know for a fact whether Prime Minister raised this issue with Nawaz Sharif or not.
What do you mean?
Seshadri, only 1 point. We do not know for sure whether Prime Minister raised this subject with
only 1 point.
Nawaz Sharif or not. And second, what do you want? The talks to be called off?
Of course. Why should there be Prime Minister?
Launch a war, drop a bomb. What do you want?
You see, this is the problem. You see,
even Stephen Cohen recently was in India. Even Stephen Cohen, who is recently in India, was recently. He has also said the same thing. You cannot stop talking.
Kumar Ketkar,
during the height of the Cold War.
I have utmost regard for you.
No, forget the regards. During the height of the Cold War, Soviet Union and US kept talking.
Yes.
During the height of the Vietnam War, when Americans were bombing, Vietnamese kept on talking in Geneva and Paris.
And would the talks have continued if the Soviet army...
One minute.
If the Soviet army... If the Soviet army would have carried out... 1 minute. If the Soviet army would have carried out operations even in Alaska, would the talks have continued?
And 1 year after the attack on Parliament, Vajpayee also talked with General Musharraf. Within 1 year.
I'm questioning...
Even after Kargil war.
Sir,
Arnab, even after Kargil war, we continued talking.
Arnab,
sir,
there is no substitute to talking.
Arnab,
you have to talk.
One question.
Arnab, the issue...
One question tonight. The only word. 1 minute. Seshadri Chari,
Arnab, the issue here is whether we talk or not is not the issue.
It's not the issue, exactly.
No, but you said whether
Arnab, what I am trying to say is...
It's not you're making the issue of the talks. Yeah.
Arnab, it is important for the Prime Minister to come out clean on this because we just heard the High Commissioner of Pakistan to India say that the media is creating a hype about this incident and they are making a sensation out of this. They are now trying to picture that this as a sensation. This is not a sensation, this is a reality. And if the Indian media is also to be absolved of all these things, the Prime Minister should come
to all
clean
panelists,
and
please.
talk to the Prime Minister of Pakistan even now.
No, I'll be fair.
Place the things on record.
No, I'll be fair to all panelists. In fact, 2 of our panelists have not spoken. But
No,
let us
that.
today be guided by the fact. The fact is that Shiv Shankar Menon is India's national security advisor. And Shiv Shankar Menon said that the basis for future talks with Pakistan would be a stoppage of violations along the line of control. But there is a fact that the gun battle was continuing till after a week after the talks. And from the information that I now have, it now appears, Maruf, that the gun battle was going on for 1 week before the talks. And I'm pretty sure that the military intelligence knew about the involvement of the Pakistani army. So the question is very serious. Was the government of India trying to suppress facts from the people of India? If the government of India is trying to suppress facts about the involvement of the Pakistani army from the people of India, then I have every right to ask, what is the agenda of the Indian government in trying to suppress those facts? We want full disclosure. Talks or no talks. Who cares about the talks? I want Maruf to come in on this.
Ornab, let me make a few points based on some of the points raised by your distinguished guest. The first thing is that there seems to be a complete disconnect between the vision of how to deal with Pakistan in South Bloc and what is the way to deal with Pakistan and the infiltrators on the ground. There is a point that the army chief alluded to: trust the man on the ground, take his opinion, take his feedback. That is often not taken, and there is a view in South Bloc amongst the bureaucrats and diplomats who make our policy and then feed our politicians and others on how to deal with Pakistan, that let the military handle the sideshow on the LOC, we look at the big picture. The second point is that Brahma raised the point that how is the Indian army allowing these intrusions to take place. From a military point of view, let me make a clarification. Without refuting completely Brahma's point, the point at issue is that the defenders, and we are in a defensive position on the LOC, we don't have the political sanction to cross the LOC. As a defender, you will always be taken by surprise, but the merit lies in how well you defend your territory. And I think credit must go to the Indian army that once an infiltration is identified, they come back pretty strongly against it. And the third point, which we must understand, that there is a gap between the Pakistani positions and our positions on the ground, and these are the low grounds like nalas and positions in depth that the infiltrators have been caught in. So they may be technically on Indian territory, but they are not occupying any position of vantage, and they don't have any advantage vis-a-vis, and that's why they've been annihilated. However, the government of India continues to talk with Pakistan in the view that this will all tide over. Unfortunately, even if we are to talk to Pakistan, we have shown no resolve, no position of strength, and no desire to punish Pakistan or make it feel the pain.
So that's because there is a tiny group
of war. If you want me to articulate it, I can do that.
Well, no. 1 second, Maruf. You see, the problem is, and before I go to Junaid Mattu, unfortunately, Junaid also probably represents that small, tiny constituency of people who've over-romanticized this whole business of talks with Pakistan. You know, this small, tiny, slowly, diminishing group of people seem to believe that there is something fantastic that is going to come out of the talks. And they're also so vested in the talks process. I don't know why. Maybe there are people who are in track 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. God knows how many tracks there are funded by which government between India and Pakistan.
Everybody does it.
It is simple. One minute, I knew you'd get provoked.
I think it is simple realism. Where is romanticism
one sec. There is this group of people who feel hurt with the truth. And the truth today is that the Pakistani army, not some nameless, faceless, organizationless group of people.
We recognize that fact.
No, we have never recognized the fact.
We recognize that fact. All those who want peace recognize the fact that there is a war going on at LOC and caused by the Pakistani invaders and Pakistani infiltrators. Nobody is denying that fact.
No,
we recognize that fact.
It is not Pakistani infiltrator. It is the Pakistani army. It is the Pakistani army.
How do you react is the question, not...
The point tonight is you have solid evidence.
Yeah, so
you have the evidence. You call off the talks. Your army chief is going on record. Your army chief is going on record to say that this has been organized by the Pakistani army. Your GOC in
the northern said in so many words to Nawaz Sharif that we will not tolerate this.
Why is the Prime Minister not saying?
At that time you said
tell me one thing, Kumar Ketkar. Tell me one thing. Tell me one thing, Kumar Ketkar.
At that time,
no.
Newspaper said Prime Minister was very firm.
Tell me, Kumar Ketkar, has the Prime Minister said so in as many words after what has come out in Kerala? Why is the Prime Minister of India quiet on Kerala? Why is the Defence Minister of India quiet on Kerala? Why is the Foreign Minister of India quiet on Kerala? Does it not matter to anybody? For God's sake, why is the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, who said a few days back, our eyes are set in a hotel room 10,000 kilometers away where we hope friendship will flourish between the two nations? Why is Omar Abdullah, what does he have to say now? That there is solid evidence about the involvement of the Pakistani army at Kerala. They've all gone quiet now. They've all gone quiet. And they've all gone underground now. They're not speaking one word now because they know that they have been completely exposed on this. Let's get Junaid Mattu in. Junaid Mattu, your take on what's going on and what you would like to see coming out from the Pakistani government. Mehboob Beg after Junaid Mattu.
Arnab, a little faux pas. I had informed your studio. I've left the People's Conference. I'm no longer with the PC. There was this presumptuous kind of introduction that I would say something. No, I don't. Believe me, I do not believe in the romantic element of talks. If there are talks between India and Pakistan, they should have an agenda. India has genuine grievances. This intrusion is a genuine grievance. Being a Kashmiri does not mean that I will tell you that this intrusion should be taken in a very casual fashion by India. No, it's a serious breach of trust. The sanctity of the line of control. We talk about politics. Even if you have ideological differences in politics, I will still say that the sanctity of the line of control needs to be maintained, and an incident of the magnitude that has happened in Keren should certainly ruffle feathers. And now we talk about talks,
No, we'll come to the talks part later. In fact, Junaid, if I may just come in, I find at this point of time that talks or no talks is irrelevant. There is a particular section here which seems to believe that everything invested in talks. Mehboob Beg, forget the talks.
Perhaps you're right. Arnab, perhaps you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Thank you.
At a situation like this, if you will have talks, they will be purely cosmetic.
You see,
an incident like Keren has happened.
Thank you. It's for the first time that I've agreed with you on this. But
talks are meaningless.
No.
Talks are meaningless.
The whole bottom line is this, Mehboob Beg. Therefore, talks are meaningless. But I don't understand the acute nervousness.
But Arnab,
the acute nervousness of a group of doves.
I disagree with you, Arnab.
Of a group of doves, acute nervousness that if we take on Pakistan, something will happen to the talks. I mean, this whole industry of peace perhaps will come down crashing. But who cares?